Welcome to the deep dive. We take your source materials, could be articles, notes, research, and, well, we dive deep to pull out the key insights you need.
Exactly. And today we're digging into a specific set, practice questions and answers for the FlashArray Implementation Specialist exam.
Right. So our mission today is to extract the really practical, hands-on knowledge for implementing Pure Storage FlashArray systems, using these exam questions as our guide.
Yeah, think of it this way. These questions highlight what Pure considers absolutely essential, the foundational stuff you need to know. We're not just listing answers, we want to get into the why behind them.
So it's more than just prep, it's understanding the core principles.
Precisely. It's about grasping the critical steps, the key commands, why they matter in a real-world setup.
Okay, sounds good. So we're basically looking at the whole process, from when the array arrives, initial checks, getting support connected, even some basic troubleshooting and upgrades.
That's the plan, all framed by what's considered certification level important.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. You've got a shiny new FlashArray just delivered. Before you even think about plugging in network cables, the sources point to a really fundamental first step. What is it?
Okay, yeah. The absolute first thing, according to this material, is validating the rack space and power.
Rack space and power, that feels almost too basic for exam prep. Isn't that obvious?
You'd think.
Okay.
But skipping this, it's a classic way projects get delayed right from the get-go.
Oh, okay.
You need to be sure the unit physically fits, obviously, but also that you have the right kind of power outlets and enough of them ready and waiting.
Right, compatible power.
Exactly. If the rack's wrong or the power's not there, you're stuck. It just prevents those initial headaches and, make sure the hardware has what it needs to even turn on properly. It's the physical foundation.
Makes perfect sense. Can't skip the basics. Now, staying physical for a moment, reliability is key. The source mentions redundancy for the management connection. How does Pure handle that? Making sure you don't lose access if a port fails.
Yeah, FlashArrays have dedicated management ports, usually ETH0 and ETH1. The source points to these as providing that vital network path redundancy.
So it's not just plugging in two cables. The array itself manages those connections redundantly.
That's right. The design ensures you maintain access to the management interface. And that's critical, right, for configuration, monitoring, troubleshooting.
Absolutely. Losing management access would be very bad.
The last thing you want.
Okay, so physical check's done. Management access is secure. Now you log in. What are the first kinds of things you need to check? The source highlights a couple of key commands for verifying status.
Right. One of the very first things, and the source gives the command, is checking time synchronization. You use PureArray NTP list to see the current NTP setup.
NTP check. Why is time sync so important on a storage array? I mean, it's storing data, not running a appointment.
Oh, it's incredibly important. Think about logs. Accurate timestamps are absolutely essential for troubleshooting. If you're trying to figure out what happened when, maybe across multiple systems or during replication.
Correlating events.
Exactly. If the clocks are off, your logs are a mess, and finding the root cause of an issue becomes, well, much harder. Plus, things like snapshot schedules, replication timings, they all rely on accurate time.
Got it. Bad timestamps equal debugging nightmare. Okay, another vital check, especially if you're thinking about an upgrade, is the software version. What's the command for that?
The source says the recommended command is PureArray software show. That tells you the PureDOS version currently running.
PureArray software show. And that's mainly for checking upgrade compatibility.
Primarily, yes. You need to know your starting version to make sure it's a supported upgrade path to your target version. It's a basic readiness check. Avoid potential disasters during the upgrade itself.
Non-negotiable then. What about just seeing how much space you're using? Is there a quick command for that?
Yep, the source highlights PureArray list space.
PureArray list space. And that just gives you the current usage stats.
Exactly. Use space, available space, data reduction ratios. It's your quick snapshot for tracking consumption and planning when you might need more capacity. Essential for staying ahead.
Makes sense. Now, monitoring is obviously huge for storage. The source really emphasizes Pure One, their cloud monitoring platform. What's the key thing you need to enable during installation so Pure One can actually, do its thing?
That would be the call home feature. The source is clear.
Yeah.
It must be enabled during setup to really use Pure One monitoring and support.
Call home. Okay, what's it actually doing? Sending emails. Making phone calls.
No, not literally calling. It's securely sending telemetry, data performance stats, health information, configuration details back to Pure Storage.
Telemetry.
Right. And that data stream is what fuels Pure One. It lets Pure's own systems monitor your array's health, spot trends, trigger alerts, and enable that proactive support they talk about.
So they might see a problem brewing before I do.
Often, yes.
Hmm.
That's the goal. It's a really core part of their support model.
That sounds pretty valuable. Okay, so let's say you do have an issue and you need to call Pure Support. How do you package up all the diagnostic info they're going to ask for?
There's a command for that too. You run Pure Array Support.
Pure Array Support. And that just bundles everything up.
Pretty much. It collects logs, config files, health checks, diagnostic data, a comprehensive snapshot of the array state. It gives the support engineers the info they need to start digging in effectively. Speeds things up a lot.
Right. Gets them the data they need quickly. Okay, let's switch gears slightly to troubleshooting. The source gives a specific scenario. What if a power supply, a PSU, isn't showing up? It's not detected. What's the first thing you should do?
According to the material, the recommended first step is to swap the power cable for that PSU with one you know is working.
Swap the cable first, not just pull the PSU and replace it. Why the cable?
It's just efficient troubleshooting, process of elimination. Cables fail, right?
Yeah.
It's quicker and easier to swap a cable than a whole PSU. So you check the simplest thing first. If a good cable doesn't fix it, then you start looking at the PSU itself, or maybe the slot. It saves time and effort. Start simple.
Smart. Okay, good practical advice. Thinking about keeping things running smoothly, upgrades again, specifically non-disruptive upgrades, NDUs. Sounds great, no downtime. But the source mentions a mandatory requirement before starting an NDU. What is it?
Absolutely mandatory, yes. Phone home must be active.
Phone home, is that the same as call home or something different? And why is it specifically mandatory for an NDU?
It's related to call home, but it's more about active monitoring during the upgrade itself. When phone home is active for an NDU, Pure Storage gets real-time status updates and any critical alerts directly from the array while the upgrade is happening.
Ah, so they're watching it live, essentially.
In a sense, yes. Their support teams can monitor the progress and step in or offer guidance if something unexpected occurs. It's like an extra layer of safety for a complex critical procedure.
Wow, okay. That really shows how tightly integrated that remote monitoring is. It's not just passive reporting, it's involved in maintenance too. Fascinating. All right, one last specific thing from the source. Hardware. It mentions NVMe Direct Flash Shelves, DFS. Which FlashArray model supports that?
The source material points to the X70R3 model as supporting NVMe Direct Flash Shelf connectivity.
The X70R3. And what's the big deal with the DFS? What does it give you?
It's basically a way to add more capacity using NVMe flash over standard cables, rather than traditional SAS. The main benefit is lower latency and higher performance for that expansion storage. Good for workloads that need really fast access to lots of data.
Gotcha. Low latency expansion. It feels like these exam questions really map out the practical essentials.
They absolutely do. It's a clear signal about the core, hands-on knowledge needed for implementation. It's less about theory and more about what you actually do.
So thinking about all these specific details, we've pulled out the physical checks, the config verification commands, enabling call home, needing phone home for upgrades, the troubleshooting steps, the hardware specifics. What does this focus tell you, our listener, about how interconnected everything is? The physical setup, the software config, this constant remote monitoring, how they all have to work together for a reliable storage system today. It's clearly moved way beyond just racking gear, hasn't it? What does that mix of skills really mean for someone managing storage now? Something to think about.